And we're live. Okay, good evening, parts, and welcome to TFC Open Mic. This is season 3, episode 4. The future, but not as you know it. Well, it won't be next week anyway. Welcome on the panel. Hello, who we got? Heavy, evening, ready? Has he stepped away? Is he there? He stepped away. Peter, you there?
Yo.
How you doing? Toxic, you okay, buddy?
G'day, how all good here.
Good, mate. Good morning to you, should I say? In fact, because you're obviously down the other end of the world.
Yeah,
down on your head.
Blood rushes on my head quickly.
All's good. Robin, how are we?
Hey, doing well, thanks.
Good. And Brian's in.
If I knew the future, it would not be for the benefit of BP. Lottery, let's go.
Right, do apologise because I've just been doing some hundreds, obviously, because Bounty's on. Okay, so we were a couple of minutes late because I was like, where are they? I was like, oh, look, let's start the show. So my apologies. But there we go. Topical anyway. So let's start with Bounty. Toxic, you can start because you had a good day yesterday, apparently.
I did indeed. There was quite a few hundreds that popped up and I took advantage of them. I think I did 4 and 3 of them paid out 1,600, I think.
Wow.
Once they were gone, there was some 98s left, I think it was.
Oh yeah, they're good. I like those.
Yeah, no, and I got 800 for each of them. I did a couple of them, and I ended up with over 12,000 points. So that was really good. I think it was. Didn't mind that at all.
Good. So where about you sitting now? Are you in a place where you're quite comfortable? Are you where you were expecting to be, or are you?
I'm way ahead.
You're way ahead.
Way ahead.
Oh, right. Oh, good.
I was thinking I'm going to be scratching to get to my 10,000 so I can get the mortar and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm way past that, so everything from now is a bonus for me.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm really happy.
Oh, that's all right. Peter, what about mate? Are you doing Bounty at all?
No, not this time around.
Okay, you weren't tempted with some of those new prizes?
Not really, no.
Okay, all right then. I know Robin is. Robin, how are you getting on?
I'm doing pretty good. I've actually been having some fun with some base hits and defense and stuff. And so, yeah, it's a couple of really good hits that came across and lots of people watching. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, really? Oh, I like
yeah.
that happens.
Yeah, I was lucky on yesterday's second bounty drop or jackpot drop. I was just finishing up a target and then all of a sudden, boom, had 3 of them. 3 100s dropped like right on top of me, so that was kind of cool.
Joking.
Yeah, didn't get the high payouts though, but was happy with it.
Well, make sure you say thanks to GDR for that. He did say he was going to do it for you. I know that.
Come out of it winning, and I'm like, "What's this target?" And I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's 100."
That's 100.
Yeah, no, actually,
get the martinis out.
Yeah, actually, what I've been enjoying is I've got a couple of really big alliances in our world. We've got gangs and a couple of other folks. So I've actually had a fair bit of fun just watching some of the base hits that have been happening. It's been real interesting seeing the different combination of fleets that people have been using, and then the defense and stuff. So I've kind of enjoyed that aspect of it as well.
You know what I noticed? If anybody thinks BP is dead, you should be watching some of the hits that are going on at the moment, because there is some crazy money throwing around this place. It's nuts what people are spending. Well, maybe they're not spending. Maybe they haven't got any armors on their ships. But I've done the same sort of thing. I've only had one visit and that sort of stuff, which was actually one of gangs actually. And I'll admit, there was no way I was giving up 5.5k of bounty, so I drove like NASCAR. You never seen like it. But I just managed to stop him. Okay.
Hey, I worked to get it. By golly, I'm hanging on to it.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I have to drive, I'm doing it.
If it was a normal basic, I don't care. But that was 5.5k, and I was like literally a couple of hours off of locking it all in, and that was today's lock as well. So I was like, no way, I'm not giving this up. So yeah, I'll admit it. I drove like a NASCAR driver, and only just managed to stay alive.
Yeah, I had like 9,800, so I was like trying to fit in the last two. Map targets to secure it, and it was like big flashing sign above my base, and there was like a line of people out there.
I was offline because I was out for most of the day. I just happened to come home. I was like, oh, because I put some subs at the front just to deter the odd like low level that would just go, well, I don't want to contend with them as well. But clearly, obviously, people have got big level ships that they don't care about things like that. So I thought, I literally just logged on and my subs had just docked. Went, that's not good. Especially when they were dead. I was like, oh, here comes trouble. So even before I went out on the water, I already my base was lit up and it said you're being attacked. So yeah, it was good. A good little battle. Brought on a little bit of a interesting bit of comms chat, in the PM. But hey, that's the way it is, isn't it? Good fun. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I think Bounty's going quite well. What do we think about Target? So they had a bit of a change, didn't they? So when they first came out, it was just the new 99s, and then obviously it was in 87. Was it 87? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Traps, web traps and stuff. What do you reckon to those? Toxic, have you managed to hit any of them, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing 99s. The 87s don't really they don't sit too well with the Kingswood. I
was thinking the same thing.
I couldn't get through. I couldn't. It killed me every time. And then I took my Kingswood and tried it, and it killed me too. Then I went into the 99. Could do everything except for the Tide Seeker because mine has got the cannon on it, so it outranges me.
Right. You've got a single cannon. I see what you mean. Yeah. So you haven't got like a missile extender on it.
No, it didn't have anything. So am I hearing myself? I can.
Someone's just. I think that's. Is that Trent?
What's going on?
Hello, mate. You're right. Get that YouTube turned off, you.
It was on my phone. It's off now.
All right. How are you, buddy?
Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good. So he's just asking Toxic how he's finding the new targets, because obviously these are the first ones. I mean, I can understand why they've changed them. I don't know if everybody agrees with it or not, but five times now we've had Bounty. They've not changed the targets, so it doesn't surprise me we've got new ones. The game's all about evolution, isn't it? So
yeah, it made it interesting. I mean, the problem was solved. It wasn't really that hard, but all I did is took a sloth in with me.
Mm-hmm.
Killed the bottom entry, then I went to the top entry, left the sloth at the bottom, went in through that, got up to the side, and then autoed it with a Kingswood. And once it got to the middle island, I drove the sloth towards the entry until it splashed out the Tide Seeker, and that's it. It's a minute and a half, 2 minutes repair on the map. And,
yeah, it's good. I mean, you really don't want to be trying that 99 with a set of rages. I was trying to do Liam a favor, didn't go well.
Yeah, I don't have them, so.
Yeah, nor did he for a little while. But I did find that the rages work really well in the 98s, I have to say. Very well, in fact. Hardly any damage at all. So I know he's not about this evening because he's had to go to work. So, but he's taken his laptop with him. So he's quite happy he found something that he can do whilst he's loitering for the evening. So he's probably online now. I'm not sure if he's in the chat or not. He said he would try. It depends if he gets called out or not. But
yes, but again, I had the tinfoil hat on before this Bounty. With the turrets being nerfed and everything. I would have.
Yeah.
I would have bet a lot that this time there's going to be no one playing and blah blah blah. But hey, to Kix's favor, I was wrong, and it's not that bad. It made it a little interesting to find a solution to a little problem, or a big problem really, if you can't finish it, But I quite enjoyed the Bounty so far. It's not just because I got a lot of points. Just I can do it, and
that makes all the difference. Not only taking part, but actually to achieve. Yeah. Unlike me trying to hit this target and do a show at the same time. It's quite funny. I'm never taking so much damage, but there we go. Thanks, mate. I see we've got Mike's in. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Are you partaking in Bounty, mate?
I did. I backslid and got in.
You got yourself on. Okay, so what have you been what sort of targets have you been aiming for, mate?
I'm doing the 98s, 99s, and God knows if I ever find 100, I'd hit those.
Yeah, but a lot of people. I missed the first ones, and then I just managed to catch some yesterday, and I've just tagged 2 just in the last half an hour. So
yeah, far better than I thought I'd do. So.
Really, are you happy with the target? There's been a target adjustment, hasn't there? Did you notice they turned them off last night? It was midnight UK time, or no, sorry, midnight kick time was it, or was it midday? I can't remember, but it said 12 anyway. I can't remember what it was.
It was 12. They that's when they did something to the 99, and then unless you're talking a different event, and you couldn't hit them again until
3 or 4 minutes they turned them off, didn't they? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then they came back as the 98s mostly, and the 99s that were nerfed a little bit because the damage I was taking went in half.
Yeah, there was an issue with, in fact, Toxic and I were Toxic was looking at this the other night. There was an issue with sloths and other hulls taking damage outside of the regular ring size on the trap, and so he was taking, his sloth got too close and his sloth was getting killed. So it looks like they took care of that, and once they removed that, it was a little bit easier for everybody.
Yeah, I must admit, I made that foolish mistake of getting it wasn't not even close to the ring. I was sort of like, just like probably 2 ships away from it, but it still seemed to be doing some sort of damage. Not quite sure what was going on. So I was like, yeah, that's not good enough. But yeah, I'm glad they changed them, and I think it's opened it up for a few more players as well now. So I'm not so sure. Good, Mike. It's good to see you're in anyway, mate. And so how many points are you in a position where you're quite content, or?
Yeah, actually, I'm locked in at 30.
Oh, right, have you? Oh, wow. Well, didn't
yeah, I'm going for 32, and then I don't care much after that, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean the golden number's 95, isn't it, for those that are really pushing hard and that sort of stuff? Let's have a quick look. I'll just be able to do
that. I think it is. I think you're right.
So 95. So there's some people there. Look, yeah, there's a few people up. Let's look down at like 4s and 5s. That'll tell us. So 30. Yeah, I mean 30 or 50 people are definitely going to get it without a doubt. Looking at this, because the last day obviously you get the big chances. So, and then obviously those that are doing the Nexuses will get their big payouts at the end. So, yeah, well, we don't really want more than 100 people to have the top ship the first time around. I don't think personally, but that's my gut feeling. I won't get it. I don't think it's right that everyone gets it. Otherwise, there's no tier system for players, let alone ability. But
yeah. So I played the first one and then this one. I sat out the rest, and we'll see what happens next time.
Okay, I think I'm still happy they're running smooth in general. Yeah, there's a few issues with the new targets yesterday, but they adjusted that quite quickly.
Yep.
So I don't know, Venom, how's it going for you, buddy?
I'm at 48,000, and I'm about half the points that I actually wanted to be at by this point. But
yeah, and yet 48 last time was very good, wasn't it?
It was okay last time. This time they increased the price for the new ship, which is understandable. It's tier 7, but yeah, for those that are wanting, for those like me who are wanting to be higher up, it's a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, obviously, at some stage you've been at the top of the tree, sort of stuff, which is frustrating. A little bit like when Rainer was talking about pain train, that sort of stuff in the raid. It was the same sort of concept. It's awkward when you're used to being in a certain position, and then you're not. Whether that's for the, there's absolutely no way you're going to get the top level. I don't think, unless you're going to be in a position to go in and get to the bonuses and that sort of stuff. It's just not possible. And getting those, everyone's understanding just how important it is, and it's not easy to get them, is it?
Nope.
Or find them. No. It's easy to kill them, but it's not easy to find them.
Yeah. Just having real life makes it much more difficult to do well on the bounty.
Sorry, real life? What's that? You can't have one of those. Stop it. Real life is not allowed. It's just not permitted. Good. Okay. So, were you just out of interest, are you on par as you were last month? Roughly this time of this far in so far?
I'm half my points.
Compared to last time?
Yeah.
So you're at 45 now?
Yes.
And you had 45 this time last time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, no, I was 90 last time, and this time I'm 45.
Oh, right, okay. You achieved 90 by this time last time?
Yeah.
Right, well, I've got no sympathy for you
whatsoever. Yeah, but remember though, last time on the first day we had 4 jackpot spawns.
Oh, yeah, some people did. Yeah, no, I went to sleep. Foolishly, like a Brit would do. I thought, well, they've been out once, that's it, and then they just came out and again and out again, didn't they? Straight after each other. So it didn't really work, to be honest, unfortunately, for me personally. I'm trying to look for some 99s and I can't see any. Cool. Right. Okay. Thanks, mate. We'll move on in a minute. First of all, though, I've got to do it. Nick's in. Hey, Nick.
How you doing, mate? All right.
Hey, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I daren't ask.
I'm even doing the bounty.
Are you or not doing it?
I am doing it. Yeah, because Jeff said I got to do it. Like, so I'm doing it.
Okay.
And it's not great. It's I think I'm on about 45k. It's a long grind. Okay, I've just had some the jackpots just before we came on here.
You found some, did you? Okay, well done.
Just before we came on, but you know, without jackpots, you're not going to do anything really. It's just too long and too limiting prizes, excluding people is never ever going to work. Sorry, it's never going to work.
I have to say, you know, without the jackpots, you're right. Unless you're in the top 100 players, you are not going to do well in this event. So the rich do get richer, without a doubt.
I'm top 100. I'm top 100 global for medals. So why shouldn't I be top 100 in the bounty? You know what I mean? I'm not a bad player. This is what bugs me. I'm not a bad player, and yet it really bugs me that they want to limit me out the game.
Yeah, it's you miss the jackpots and you're gonna miss out heavily in the prizes. Now that's been the issue from the very start with the whole bounty. It's you miss the jackpots, you're not getting the top prizes.
Yeah, I think
it's not.
Yeah,
it's not even. It's not even so much missing. It's like, oh, I have work like a normal human, or oh, I have sleep like a normal human.
Yep.
Or even just, I got unlucky and got the low rolls and got, I don't know, 400 or 800 instead of 1600 or 3200 a few times, and that 5,000 in the end was the difference.
Would you say that it's no longer? Would you agree though that 90% of the game at the moment doesn't seem to be battle pirates? It seems to be lotto pilots. Because I think it's a lot. I think it's a lottery. Yeah. Well, everything. I mean, the FM is a lottery. Bounty is a lottery. You know, the TLCs are a lottery. Is there anything that isn't a lottery anymore in the game?
I mean, if you mean outside chance elements, then yeah. The FM is usually relatively low variance because they kind of cut off our token production after the Conquest Yard came out, and I've already yelled about siege chests for, you know, as much as I liked. There are a lot of very important random elements in this game, and the chests in the FM, the ship build tokens, which is the most important resource in the game. When major elements like that, it's like, oh, here's a week variance. Here's 6 days that you got, this other guy didn't. Here's 12 days for Hydras, which is a full ship.
Mm-hmm.
This and that. We can't plan for that. It's not really that much of a strategy game if what we can do is so varied based on the same amount of effort, as Hefe likes to put it. It's just so weird. And these low rolls, I haven't exactly done the math, but I could easily foresee if you rolled low on most of your stuff that you would not be able to finish all of the shipbuilding tasks just for PvE that Kix is asking. The two fleets, there's the garrison thing that we're going to have to build for next month, which we'll probably hear more about in February. There's escalation weapons coming. I consider the resistors an escalation special, and who knows what else. And that's just PvE. We're not even talking about Tier 7 Conquerors being released, because technically you can do all that in the Conquest Yard. But you might not be able to do all that even if you complete everything because you got unlucky, and that's not that doesn't seem like the meritocracy that a strategy game should be providing.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, Robin, you did some. I'm not to steal your credit. You did some math, didn't you, on the number of weeks it takes to actually partake in everything that's happened in 2017?
Yeah. So what I did was I figured out how many hulls we were required to have. So the first raid, of course, we could do with one set. You could either use, or well, you could really either. Everybody was using the cannoneers, and then from the point of the Skyfire assault raid where you then needed the 2 with the fangs and the hunters and then all the other stuff. And so then I looked at all of the tokens that you could have possibly gotten from both the old FM and the new FM, and I used just the basic 3-day token versus the 5 or the 9-day token. And then I looked at what kind of tokens you could get in through TLCs, and the number that I came up with was just for PvE and chore fleets, for the required fleets, including the FM, was 55 weeks of non-stop build time. And that was after applying all of the tokens and all of the FM tokens. And that didn't include all of the refits that we had to do because of the FM changes that they did. And so that was just PvE. And then looking at PvP, even counting the tokens for that. Now, granted, not everybody was going to use all of their tokens, like build 5 survivors or 5 inquisitors, stuff like that. Even if you applied all of those tokens, there was an additional 16 weeks of PvP building. And so if you didn't have your Conqueror Yard, then you were kind of crazy and stuck with, that, and there was no PvP, so you're spending all your time on PvE.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, like the Conqueror Yard thing. I mean, I'm not going to say it's down to us, but I'm going to say I'm really pleased. There's one thing I'm really pleased about this week. Literally, we managed to see the Conqueror Yard coming in as an offer. It's also some Conqueror Yard tokens that have been coming up in the dailies, and obviously part of Bounty as well. So there has been a bit of a win for the community. I think that they understand that, okay, those that got it and got ahead have built the darn thing. Let the other guys have a chance now. So at least there are some options. It's not free options, mind, but there are some options for people to go and get some Conqueror Yard assistance anyway, to get yourself ahead. Because actually having it, I have to say, it does make a huge difference. I don't know what other people feel, but I've personally managed to do my last 2 Conqueror fleets, which I haven't fitted with any armor at all, because I refuse to. But I think, and defenders as well, by the way. I do think it is a huge benefit. Anybody else of the same opinion or different opinion, maybe?
It is a huge benefit in the way you were just saying. But as with everything at Kickset, there's a downside, and that is titanium.
Oh, yeah.
It's just another chore that you have to do. Otherwise, you can't do the refits or build the hulls in the Conqueror yard. You have to use a normal yard if you don't want to get the titanium.
Yeah, so Expedition isn't the answer, is it? Expedition is not the answer. Yeah, I find they're not so much fun, are they? Well, you can drain your titanium into. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's what they're using for the brakes, as in like to put the brakes on the game sort of stuff. If you want to go and do something, you've got to go and get titanium, so you have to plan a little bit better. Maybe, I'm not really sure, but it is frustration where you want to do a couple of odd adjustments and you're going, oh God, I can't do it now. I've got to go and do X. It takes long enough to get anything done in this game. I think Ren was sort of like highlighting this week that the number of hours sat in a chair playing what's supposedly supposed to be fun ends up being almost the same as a second job. I don't know, but it feels that way. Has anybody ever added up how many hours a week they spend doing this, by the way? Or dare you? I don't know.
I think Ren did a bit.
Well, he's not here, so I'm not going to mention how many hours. It's a bit personal, but I'm pretty sure I must be in the 30s. Got to be.
Well, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, Hefe, what do you say, mate? Sorry, man.
I was going to say we're in an interesting situation of having to, organize shows and do things like that the average player is not dealing with. Because I think I would approach it in a different manner if it wasn't for the community involvement, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's a valid point, actually. Yeah, I know I play, or so to say, I know I'm online and watching a lot more things than what I would do if it was just me playing my game, because I want to also see it from, and as you know, I run a sort of almost a coin-free base as well, because I need to see it from both sides. Or I'd like to see it from both sides. I don't need to, but I like to. So maybe a bit more invested than I need to be, but yeah. But to do all the things you need to do and keep yourself up to date with all the chores that are on there, and you can't say that. Like the campaign, the TLC at the moment for Get You the Conqueror, you may even already have all the hull and the specials and that sort of stuff, but there's 7 days worth of tokens in there. Sorry, 15 days, isn't there, of tokens in there for Conquerors, and we've got new armor coming next week, so you're going to want those tokens.
Well, not to mention the additional resistors, 2 times 5 lots of new FM things that you're having to do this time around. And so if you don't do them all in 1 week, then you have to take that before you can get the tokens. And, I really feel for the little guys that are trying to grind those out.
Yeah, I forgot about that, Robin, as well. Yeah, so we'll talk about TLCs then. Okay. So who's been doing the one for the armor at the moment? I'm really intrigued, particularly because I've been seeing on our page, and I'm sure it's the same on the other pages as well, but some people have done it like virtually no damage, and they've finished the whole thing, and it's just instant fix in their docks, independent ships. And then some people are getting absolutely annihilated.
I got both.
Did you?
Yeah. So I have $4. Put some. I just finished them to about what I expect for the next raid. I might put the second radio charge on them, but I've got enough sprints. I've got charged armors on. I switched out to ballistic resistors. Siege battery 4, and I think one of them has FLCS, and I think one of them has. Oh, good. No, I took that off. None of them have STS. And
yeah, that's a whole different subject.
Yeah, sorry, but no, for the first few bits, those were the 60s, and I autoed them just like in raid, instant repair just like in the raid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the 81 carefully, but I think it was, well, I did the 81 sort of carefully, and then it was that and the 6th target as well.
Yeah.
I think there was something that if you got kind of close to the gun, it would fire and deal tons of damage. Maybe it was the thing that looked like a ballista, but also in the 85 where you start, there's that giant rock. And if you go around that rock, you can come down and sneak around on a platform group.
Mm-hmm.
And so this would be level 6 of the TLC. And like,
that makes sense. It was level 6 that got me as well.
Yeah, and after, like, I took out the turret cluster and I moved forward to try to kill the helipad that was launching the drones.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see anything hit me, and I couldn't see my charge, but I took a quarter damage.
Exactly the same.
I don't know what did that.
Exactly the same. Yeah, I couldn't work out what it was.
In level 7, it wasn't the drones, because in level 7 I took hits from the rocks from the drones, which now that I've seen with my own eyes is a ship that is dealing damage to us in a siege target. So, well, and then near the end, I guess it was another ballista where I just, this is the last couple of turrets and everything else is dead. I'll run straight up. And I died. I went from about 2/3, I reckon, to dead, straight dead. 4 ships gone.
Wow.
I had to bring in my cannoneers to finish it up, but I don't know what happened. And then level 7, I took the last round, I took my time. I was patient. I waited for my 30-second charges and charged armors and snuck around carefully, like the Hellwraith raid level of careful, to avoid the fields. And I could split everything up and instant fix in the dock after every round, including number 7, even though they said, use Hydras, and they never really fixed that. But you don't have to use Hydras. Bucks can do them all. It was really weird.
It is a bit. Anybody else having that sort of experience? Who else has done that TLC, the armor one?
I've done it all.
I've done.
What were you using, Nick?
I used Hydras, but that's because I went Hydras anyway.
All right, you had a full fleet, did you?
No.
I've got enough to get through it.
Yeah, I've got the flagship, and I was alternating like I've got 3 others built-ish. So as they were being refitted, like I've been doing it with 2, and I've finished it off today with all 3 Hydras and the flag.
Okay, how are you feeling about your Hydras with the situation with Siege Battery 4 and STS?
The frontline countermeasure 1 comes back into repair.
Mm-hmm.
The flag comes back into repair. The 2 with Siege Battery, 25 minutes apiece.
Yeah, it's random, isn't it? Because that's the one that should be fine, because it's got the better protection, if anything, than Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? And obviously you're looking for the extra damage, aren't you? No, I know they've been saying that they're promising to have it fixed by the raid. I was hoping they were going to promise to have it fixed by bounty, but that hasn't been the situation. So, if you've got that special on your ships and that sort of stuff, then I don't know whether it's working on Conquerors, but just not working on the new sieged ones, or whether it's not working on anything, or I'm not quite sure where we are, to be honest. I'm not taking something off just to find out either, to be honest.
No, I'm not taking it off mine.
No, but it is frustrating. And then this whole thing about the attack field, does it do damage? Does it just resist attack field effect? Does it, we know that some, like, there's a few holes that we've had out in the time that used to like put fire out on the water and that sort of stuff. So it was rad damage and it would stop that, but it wouldn't stop the damage from the attack field itself, just the secondary order effect. So I'm not quite sure where we're going with this attack field situation. And the fact that like Buccaneers have already got attack field 50% resistance built into it. So is that resistance in slowdown only, or is that resistance in the field effect of the damage the Aurors is producing? I don't think it is. I think it's just a slowdown effect.
And it's so weird, and I hate to say it, but it depends on the definition of effect.
Yeah, go on.
George would appreciate that.
What would you say? Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so in chat as well, then, if tactical field, okay, it reduces its effects by 50%, what would you say that meant? What do you think that means? It reduces the effects of the tactical field by 50%. Where would that take you in assumptions as an average player? I don't know. So, Mike, what do you think for you? I'm not catching anybody out here. I just like to see what you would like to expect that special to do.
It would be half.
So you'd think it would have whatever the damage was. Bearing in mind we know how deflection works. So if it had a 50% reduction, then you take, if it's got a base level of 10k, the 50% would obviously be 5k.
Yeah.
Is that a fair enough assumption?
Yeah, that's what it means to me.
It doesn't.
As far as damage goes, I think it would work like like resistance would.
Yeah.
Like it would add on top of resistance. So if you're at 95% resistance, you're going to go to 97.5.
Which in those terms is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the way I would expect it to work personally.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, in fact, George is in chat. Hello, buddy. How you doing, mate? In fact, we've got quite a few people in chat. So George is in chat. Sorry, Wayne's in there as well. Ford is always in there, so that's good to see Ford in there. But yeah, I mean, in some respects, I sort of started this subject because George isn't in chat, because I know he'll go off on absolutely forever. But it is an odd situation, and even the guys at Kickstarter are debating it. So I'm not going to diss anybody, but it is an interesting situation to be in, which I hope they resolve very, very soon. My concern is people have fitted TAC modules to their ships, thinking one thing because something was said, and then they've gone down another avenue, and I just don't know where we stand now, to be honest. And as Liam was saying personally himself, he had TAC modules on his Hydras, and if they're not doing what he wanted to do, then not only does he have to take that special off, it has an impact on the rest of his build as well. Which is, not good. But, that's BP for us. I don't know. So, armors. Next week, apparently we're getting the new armors. We're not getting them at the same time as the new ship, obviously, so they're doing it in staged release, which I think is probably quite a good idea. Or we just all say nerf the ship straight away. But yeah, so new armors coming. Has anybody looked at the numbers? I'm sure Hefe has.
Yes.
Yeah, they scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, they do me too as well, to be honest. So
you scare the crap out of everyone.
Okay, the only thing I sort of understand, okay, and I'm going to ride the wave game-wise for a little bit. You can fit them on not just tier 7, so you can go lower. You can fit them on defenders. You can put. You don't have. They're not restricted, so you haven't got to go win one, then another, and another. But you can. They are restricted because it's only 3 per ship maximum. But also they're heavy, so you can't just bomb up a really, really old ship and make it invincible, sort of stuff. It's going to be interesting building the lightest tanks possible, so you can put the massive amount of armor as possible on, you know, like 3 of each if you can, or as many slots as you can. So it's going to be an interesting month this month, I think. I don't know. What is your Venom? Go on, SD7. Come on, tell me your thoughts.
I won't go into terribly much detail, but it's going to
not
suck.
detail, but just in general.
It's going to suck for a lot of people, where they just will not be able to stop the ships at all, even get close to stopping the ships. Yeah, some people are going to be mildly upset. Just mildly upset.
Now, I've heard the armors are supposed to be coming out in T4. So the middleman, the little man who's got, you know, he's got some prides maybe and that sort of stuff. He's got nothing since the prides, or maybe some rages. You know, if he's managed to get 2 of one and 1 of another on there, he may do all right, you know. May, in some bases, for now. I'm not saying he's going to kill their ships, but he may be able to drive past them and kill their OP.
Maybe.
Maybe, because there's not a huge amount of weapons out there that can deal damage that these armors require. So in some respects, I think it might level the playing field a little bit.
And will be very useful on defenders, not only conquerors.
Yeah, I'm thinking in bases, I think.
When you say that, you have to take it in 2 parts. Yes, it'll be good for defenders, but the defenders still won't be able to kill the attacking fleet either.
No, I absolutely get that. But then it's not just quite as broad brush as, oh, look, I may just not bother putting a guard in because I've just got to keel over. At least this time, the guard will survive for a period of time anyway, until obviously something else comes out. I'm hoping this isn't the be-all, end-all armor. I hope it will go in stages. Now, clearly, we're going to need some more turrets a bit later on, or some different turret tops and that sort of stuff, you know. As sort of like, you know, GDR explained when he was on the show midweek. But I do think it's going to cause I know it's going to cause nothing worse than a shitstorm at the start of somebody just about to take control of the reconfigures the game for a whole new year. But that's basically, I think, what's going to have to what is going to have to happen is what is definitely going to happen. And I think if you haven't sort of like looked at the bigger picture, I think in the short term, everyone's going to go, holy moly, you know, this is just disastrous. And
because people, sorry, go ahead.
In the short term, it kind of is disastrous for about 99% of the people in the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Where your base is not going to be flat, but your guards at least doesn't need repaired. But it's going to be painful.
Can I have 20 guard ships instead and no OP?
Prepare for the revenge of the 52s.
That's my thing. Do you know what?
52s are going to come and roll your base.
Everybody. I think the medals table is going to go mental in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've been saying that you won't be able to. There'll be a Mexican standoff. You'll have 1 ship there and a defender there, and you won't be able to kill it. But that's on paper only, and we know that Kicks doesn't always. It's not always going the way it should be on paper, if you know what I mean.
I'm expecting huge pass-throughs. That's the only way that this works, in my mind, is that these are going to have a huge amount of pass-through. You know, the amount of damage deflected is going to pass through. That's the only way that I can see this working, even in the short term or the long term. Because if you look at the amount of armor on these on the tier 7, on the Onslaught, and then you look at the resistances they're provided, pretty much every turret that you have, even though I've been told otherwise, I'm not, you know, because I don't know exactly how the critical hits work. Every turret you have is useless. Every ship weapon you have is useless, based on the numbers that you're able to generate. By putting these on Boulder Fist or whatever, these 6.5 hulls, you're going to get all your deflections over 200. And then you consider turret defenses. And then you consider turret defenses, then that number, in theory, should be about 400,000. So, I hope we get some more information before we just have to, quote unquote, figure it out. Sorry,
Yeah, no, I was just intrigued. I want to see the first set of ships that are fitted out and then go and do some FVF on the sea, because I don't reckon they'll do enough damage. I think it'll just time out over 5 minutes. I don't think they'll be able to hurt each other, or not to a level that's of any importance. I think they'll both just battle and just drive around and actually achieve nothing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will go with double sea webs and enough stuff to slow down things, just hoping that
they'll time out.
Timeout paces, yeah.
Make the longest channels possible. Lots of stun. Stun will still work. Just stun everything. Hopefully they won't make it. Yeah, lots of zigzags and turnbacks and that sort of stuff. I don't know.
Well, maybe what Kix is trying to tell us is that there are some turrets coming in the next raid instead of a hull. Instead of a new hull, maybe there's some turrets or some specials or something new that we don't know about yet.
Well, I think there has to be, doesn't there? So yeah, Peter, go on. Sorry, you say, mate.
So I was just saying, I would dearly love to see some more base defense stuff come out in the raids. You know, like new turrets or new specials for our current turrets or stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a need for having another line, not a restricted line, but another line that just. I know Bounty is supposed to cover PvP in general, but I don't think at this stage, unless Bounty 7 is going to bring a whole plethora of new stuff, and then we're all expected to go through and win it. But the problem is, unless you're lucky, jackpots included, you don't have a chance, And how the hell is Bounty 7 going to run when an OP is basically a gift? You may as well stick it on the outside your base. So stacking up and protecting your base is going to be pretty nigh on impossible, I'd have thought, for the next Bounty. Which is one of the reasons I'm sort of participating to a level in this one, because I'm not even sure I might take part in the next one. Don't know. We'll see. But
there should be ways to stop it, but it's going to be very difficult.
If we have new turrets, if we have new turret weapons, what's the build time for those going to be?
Well, it can't be as ridiculous as it is now, because 12 days is enough. That's not doing the job, is it? I mean, I get
with full base parts, 12 days.
Yeah,
29 and a half years.
You say it can't be worse, but why would they be offering 40 days worth of base tokens at the moment?
Look, it's my job to make people sad with reality. Okay.
Well, I'm hoping those 40 days of tokens out there at the moment are just people to catch up their level 9 turrets, because I've got a funny feeling, unless you've got a level 9 turret, I'm hoping, I've sort of offline said this to a couple of people, especially for the FM. Look, we know there's going to be it's a slight tangent, but we know there's going to be an increase to the FM targets, and there's going to be a 120, say, coming out in March. Well, don't give us any more points. Don't make us require, but just drop the 115 down, make it the same number of points as the 111, and then just bring the 120 and make it the same amount of points as what the 115 is now. So yes, there's another target, but ultimately you don't have to go and win more points. It's not about escalation of points, because that's just ridiculous. I know what you Yanks are like. You love your big numbers, but it's just there's no requirement for it. It's just a endless spiral going up in numbers. It's the same sort of thing for turrets in your base. As far as I'm concerned, if the turret takes, okay, let's just say it takes 12 days with all your full base parts. Well, let the next one take 12 days, and the restriction to put it on is it's got to go on a level 9 turret. So they're giving you some turret choices now if you can win these tokens to get yourself to level 9 turrets. Whether you want to buy them or not, that's down to the individual. It's but that's the time saving if you choose it.
Yeah, and that's
most people will have level 9 turrets for their epic marts anyway, and the epic marts are basically useless. So you just be replacing the turrets that you have on the level 9s with the new ones. It would be worse if.
What if there's epic specials and not new turrets?
But
maybe fuel air munitions 3.
Yeah, do you know what? That would do it.
Yeah, with unlimited aura caps.
No, I like the aura cap, I have to say, although it's really stuffed me personally, because like I said, I had something building that was taking forever. But I understand the aura cap thing, because it stops stupid maths. No, I don't mind being intuitive and getting around a problem, that sort of stuff. But when you break some mechanic, you know, which is like George's favorite background sort of pastime. But if you break a mechanic in the game, then they've got to find something to overcome that one specific thing, you know, and it ends up, unfortunately, being let's bring out the next super beast just to solve one tiny little problem.
Except for we still don't even know that mechanic. I mean, the mechanic of the Epic Cat Mortar, unless somebody knows different. I know Brian ran the numbers, and you got what we would need to have explosive damage of over
1,400%, like literally impossible. Yeah.
Yeah, and it actually kicks in at 200. So there's something big in that mechanism that, you know, probably some people understand. I don't have the coin to test it out, but there's something going on there that's different, and it should work in theory, in my mind, on anything with criticals. So hyenas, emancipators, epic cats. I wouldn't melt those down too soon until maybe we figure out what's going on once we start seeing some of these things, and put the hyenas towards the back of your base. But the rest of them don't really have the don't have criticals. So those are the ones of interest, at least to me.
What I'm really hoping with this next round of turrets is that the base power to put these turrets on is exorbitantly high, like high enough that you can't put a good special on it, or even a transformer. Like you only have the turret, but the turret itself does like 600,000 damage a salvo or something ridiculous, because that's about what you're going to need to have.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
and it'll, you know, they'll fix the numbers exactly based on the aura caps that currently exist in the game, and then as time progresses and we get OP whatever we're up to, 11 or something, then we'll get the next level of turrets, and then you'll be able to put specials on, and then that power will increase.
Well, look, I mean, for those that did and those that didn't, maybe you want to go back and watch it. I'm not saying you should, but when GDR was on, he sort of hinted that it's a bit like when they built the Skyfires for the previous raid and then built the targets, you know, and the previous the raid is just gone as well. You know, they're building things in conjunction. So for this year, the turrets are being built in conjunction with the ships that are coming out. So there is a little. It's supposed to be coming as a package, not together, mind, but as a package, so that, you know, this turret is planned and this ship is planned, and if you are clever enough, you can just get away with getting through someone's base if they've got the right type of base, but you're not going to go and trounce them. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake, and it'll cost you. If you don't quite build it right, it'll also cost you. You know, so hopefully it will be, let's just say by April, we might be in a better place. I don't know if we will. We might be in a better place. I don't know. We've got to give them a chance, haven't we? Because what's the alternative? We all just log off and never come back on again, because it's just that epic swing of 2017 was just ridiculous. I don't know where that would end up.
Yeah, I'm hoping more comes out in the FM than the armor. I'm hoping that there's actually a turret or some sort of defense against that armor that also comes out in that FM. At least that's my hope. They've not provided any clues that that's going to happen, but there needs to be something to balance it.
Like an OP aura that's base wide, you mean? And you can just switch from one OP aura to another OP aura. That's what I'm hoping as well.
Or no, I'm thinking, you know, like there's at least something that's going to slow them down. That, you know, they're not just going to be able to click to the back of the base with these ships. You know, once you start putting these armors on to the 6.5s, I'm not even talking about the 7s, but the 6.5s, that it's just not click to the back of the base and then, you know, put your sloths over here and then you're all taken care of.
Yeah, a bit like these NCPM do at the moment. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. One thing I do know for sure, you know, UK time, 9 p.m. is when FM kicks in. I think by 9:15, no, let's just say 9:30, you know, there's going to be an awful lot of basic going on for some of the big alliances. It's going to be hysterical to watch. I'm not sure it's going to be a good thing for the game, but it's going to be funny to watch because they're all going to want to go and all those venge attacks that they've all been wanting for ages. The first one that manages to actually quickly slap him on his ship, coin him as they were going to anyway, and then take it out there and get payback. It's going to be amusing. And then on the Banhammer, I'm sure there's on the Hammer page. Sorry, there's bound to be lots of I've got your medals and that sort of stuff, which is also something that amuses me greatly.
Do we know the build time on them yet? On the new armors?
Do you think people like that care? No, I have no idea.
No, we don't know. Okay.
2 days each.
Probably.
Do that.
What, 2 days each?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see it being very, very cheap.
No, but I can definitely see Venom putting them on in a nanosecond and then going out and having fun.
Yeah, and 225,000 uranium or titanium.
Oh yeah, imagine that. Imagine if it was a full. I mean, it's not giving ideas. Imagine it was a full 250 titanium for one armor. That's slowing down.
And then they suddenly creep titanium into the daily deals at a discount.
Somehow they're going to generate the value of titanium in the game like they do uranium. Yeah, I've always wondered how they do that.
Oh, you're getting some love there, Venom, are you?
Yeah, I'm just being told they're going to drive on me. So.
All right.
Well, titanium is the PvP. Sorry, titanium is the PvP resource, which means on defense as well as on attack. There doesn't need to be any establishment; it's already there. Like you couldn't research the Scourge web unless it was 150,000 titanium to get just defenses. So everybody needs it now.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Do you know what? Anyway, look, it's got us talking about it again. I know we're being sort of like a little bit sort of like tinfoil hatties, which I don't like to do. But he's already shook people up at all levels, and for many different reasons. And just for that, I quite like it. I absolutely know we're going to have a rough ride to start with. We are definitely going to have pain. And if you don't think pain's coming for the next few weeks, you have been playing long enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was sort of throwing out there the idea of something to balance those armors that also comes out in the same FM, as opposed to just spreading it out. That's the reason I brought it up, is because it could get really ridiculous. Because if you think about it, all you need to have is Sloss and then some tank with just one weapon on it. And I've been looking at some of the defenders that have 7, or think about the gluttony, 10 weapon slots. I mean, sorry, 10 armor slots.
So you get 3 of each if you build lights. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's some old defenders that have 7, so you could put 3 of each. So yeah, there's some weird things that could happen.
Is Jug X a defender?
Jug X?
Is that a defender?
No, I was thinking like gollies and weird, like if you look back.
Oh man, I just recycled it. Look at weapon slots you got. Armor slots, yeah. Yeah, you have toilets back in your base again, and they're epic. Well, they don't die, at least. I'm not going to say they're epic. You can't kill them.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Can you imagine that? You'd have some crazy stuff.
Oh, I still got a Vanquisher. Oh, let's go.
It's a shame not things like the Highland nuclear cruiser couldn't use them, because imagine sitting out in your base, give you the extra rad, and then you'd be able to put maybe some damage on them with some other ships.
Omega Behemoth is a
that's true.
A ballistic ship. There we go.
What about the big ships? Like what's the 4 big ones? I can't remember what they're called anymore now because I've never used one. Like
that. Are you talking about like all? Wait, never mind. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. Go ahead.
The old ships, the old ones we used to use, that came out. Ghost
Corsa?
No. I'm talking about the restricted ones. You used to get parts for.
Oh, the capital ships?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not going to work because
they're not Conquerors or Defenders,
are they? Yeah, they're not. It's a real shame that.
Yeah, I looked at my Ghost Crawler last night and said, oh, wait a minute. That's not
I was gutted. I looked at the Ghost Crawler as well, but that's not one, is it? Because it doesn't go into that zone. But I didn't know about those. I've never built them, so I wasn't sure.
I hear they're going to make a special exception for the Man of War.
It still wouldn't freaking work. You tease.
Just what I heard. That's what I heard.
What, they would go up to 5 weeks repair instead of 2.5 days, you mean?
Yeah, but it'll have 3 million deflection against every single type.
You're going to dilute that repair efficiency so much, though.
Can you imagine it? And thanks, Dave, on chat. The Hellstar. That's what I was talking about. The Hellstar. The drones on. Is it the drone ships that come on the Hellstar? I was just thinking. Just imagine if those had the armor on those. You know, that'd be hysterically funny. But yeah. Anyway, clearly we can't because it's the wrong stuff. I've never built one, so I didn't even know what class it was and never looked. But there we go. Yeah, interesting. But in general, I mean, we haven't really said anything about or asked anything about it. I mean, we've had our discussions, the admin panel here. What are your thoughts? In fact, have his view as well. It's what's your general feelings on what GDR had to say? You know, looking forward through the whole of the year and the plan and why they're doing it.
I like the whole plan. I like the end point. But the transition is really rough, and an atmosphere as far as the players go that's not. I'm not sure how steady it is to get through these growing pains.
Yes, that's mine too. I mean, it's a caustic atmosphere anyway because they've caused that since probably 2014. Exacerbated it massively in 2017 to a stage that it got crazy, to be honest. You know, having got rid of most, not all, but most of the hackers in 2016, 2017, with everything going, obviously, you know,
service side. Yeah.
You know, we were in a better sort of place. But then the game just seemed to go screwy in a different way, and I think, well, I'm not going to say Kixeye hacked us, but they definitely messed us up more than the hackers did, I think, personally. And now we're in a place where, you know, I mean, the targets just got adjusted in the middle of Bounty. No one went on Kixeye. No one sort of like says that was good, because we're all in the hate mode now, and no matter, you know, you can't do good because there's so much bad's happened. So it's going to take an awful lot of change, I think.
And also, I think, I mean, you were part of the roundtable where we discussed it, and I think he addressed some of the issues partially with this. But it's you know, my big issue is the secondary cost of being associated with PvP. It's the loss of research, upgrades, builds, ship builds for your PvE. That once you involve yourself with this, and if you're not on 24 hours a day, it's much cheaper to, you know, they keep on making things cheaper and cheaper on the attacker's side. They don't make it cheaper on the defender side. As far as, you know, reducing the repair times on turrets, or making researches and ship builds continuous, even if they're damaged. There's a lot of stuff that wasn't addressed that I think would be more productive as far as increasing PvP across a larger group of players. I know there's the hardcores that are just, okay, just throw some coin at it and it's okay. But then there's the other group that wants to play their PvP game, but they're not willing to spend all the money to repair their, you know, well, A, be on 24/7, and then B, repair their. So there's certain parts of it that I felt was neglected by with what he said. And I'm a little bit worried about, you know, like I said, I'm a little bit worried about those armors in general. But yeah, that's some of my concern, is that I don't think all the needs of the community are going to be served by the simplification of the hulls and making it more component driven hulls. That, you know, that drives the performance. Is more the components that are put on it. So,
but I have to say, I mean, the change of the blueprints had to happen. It was getting out of control. The overlap of, you've got to add this to that. With hidden, I mean, Robin's picture the other day was an absolute classic. That you know, the you know, sound recordist engineer's booth with all those sliding knobs and that sort of stuff. You know, to try and work out the the isms of how to play Battle Pirates absolutely made me laugh. You know, when I saw that slide, I exacerbated it a little bit by putting a woman sort of like hands in the air, sort of screaming because just couldn't understand it. But that is where we sort of got to, you know, in the middle of 2017, where the technical data sheet for each of the holes was bigger than the page. You couldn't even like press the shift button and actually see it all. Even on full screen. It was just ludicrous.
Exactly. If we had to put 2 slides together to put the blueprint so people could read it for a single ship, there was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad.
Say again?
No, some of them are pretty
bad.
Some of them are ridiculous, mate. You know, I mean, you've only got to look at the flagship for the, you know, the glut. It's just like, wow, look at that lot. I mean, yes, you can break it down into its sections. Of course you can, that stuff. But not everyone can do that.
The scary part is just there's a lot of information there, but it's still usable. It's not terrible. There's nice features.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't want to spend half an hour just trying to figure out how something works. They want to load stuff up on a ship and go kill stuff.
Yeah, go smash.
But it's a strategy game in itself. So you're going to have to spend the time trying to figure out to start with.
No, it's the lottery. It's a lottery game. I wouldn't say it's a strategy game. I think strategy is only part of the game, and I don't think strategy is the biggest part of the game at the moment. I think the biggest part of the game is luck. Because if you aren't lucky, you aren't going to get very far at all. And that's not just about making sure someone's online or offline. That's about if you manage to roll and get enough, you know, tokens to do X, Y, and Z, which a lot of people, unfortunately, have not been in that situation. That's the first thing I'd like to see killed, is get rid of the lottery effect. And as I've always said, the second thing I want to get killed off is the 2 S targets and 2 ships to go and do a freaking raid. I think it's ridiculous. Whoever brought that idea needs shooting. And if that could go, I'd be very happy. Get us back to a single target. You can have 2 fleets if you want to, but I'm not going to have to build 2 fleets. 1 target, 2 options, as we used to have, and then I'll go one way or the other. Otherwise, they're killing their own TLCs, and they're locking out, as Liam said, they're locking out their own people out of their own market. People that want to coin can't, because the ship that they've been given, it doesn't even fire in the freaking target, let alone have a go at the target. So
Zealous OP.
Yeah, you know, it's foolhardy in no uncertain terms, but yeah, I don't know, frustrating. But in concept, I mean, it wasn't my statement, but somebody did say that basically, if you're sailing in a tanker, it takes a long time to turn it, but it takes even longer to stop it. Now, I asked GDR a few things after the show and that sort of stuff, and I said, well, what about about the new players coming into the game? And he said, quite simply, we are not going to do anything about the new players coming into the game. And I went, well, what do you mean? He went, would you invite somebody into the game as it is now? And we all know the answer to that. No, we wouldn't. Okay, so he said, look, plug the holes in the hull first. Let's get it working, and then we'll about bringing fresh people into the game. And I think that's fair. You know, if we can't be happy about the game that we're playing, how the hell can we get fresh people in? It's just, you bring them into what? Otherwise, you bring them into a caustic atmosphere of something that is just broken, and they can't get anywhere past level 50 until they get into the 100s, say, although levels don't really mean a great deal, to have anything of any value, as we've all said, and seen people try. You know, we've seen people try to come back, have loads of assistance, and have quit the game again because they just can't do it.
But how true is it, though? I mean, that he even said that. You know, it's the right thing to do. Fix it first. You know, it might take him 2, 3, 4 months to fix it, and then you can.
But his team, he's not a one-man wonder, but ultimately, you know, that has been his previous occupation as well. Is resolving things, you know, and that sort of stuff. So you're probably saying, well, how did he get in this place in the first time? Well, in this situation now. But you know, if you're not allowed to have valid input in certain areas of the game, then, or the game at all, even, which is clearly what it seemed, because the only thing he touched, as far as I can work out, is the Skyfighters last year, which did work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just. you know, we're in the slowdown stage. You know, someone's changed that. You know, the captain said we're going to do this. Okay, if he's the team lead, if he is the team lead now, so the captain said we're going to do this. The engineer's going, right. Heard your boss. This is what we're going to do. Okay, but we need 10 masters to do it because it ain't going to happen overnight. So we are definitely going to feel the pain, as Hefe said as well. And I think it's going to take some time to sort this out. You can't. I mean, I'm no coder, but I know for a fact that common sense says that you can't sort something out overnight and make everybody happy. It's just not possible.
But at least it makes sense. The plan he's got seemed to have hand and foot, if you know what I mean. He's got a plan where he wants to fix the game, but you can't fight on two fronts at the same time. You gotta do one thing and then go to the other. It's better to have one thing done and finished than 2 or 3 or 4 things on the go and nothing works, you know, like it is now. So yeah, I agree, and I hope he gets it fixed because I'd love to get back into PvP. I'm just hanging for that. And I think there's a lot of people that are in my sort of you know, position.
Okie dokie, good. Right. So we have a new player in. Sorry, I'm just having a quick look there. And you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, certainly can.
Hey there, I'm Ginger.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm ecstatic. All right, so Ginger, okay, first time on the show?
Yes.
That's even better then. Then that's great. Right, so let's in an alliance?
Usually yes. I'm kind of taking like a mental health week.
Oh, okay. Game-wise, obviously, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we've all done that, I think, to be honest. So, what sort of level are you, and what sort of things are you managing to achieve at the moment?
I am level 111. I am around 31,000, I think, on the bounty. I've been hitting some, and I discovered the 99s when I hit one accidentally today. So now I'm just kind of hitting those on auto.
Right.
And I actually came back after scrapping my base and my fleets.
Oh.
And it's a hard thing to do.
Wow.
Yeah. It took me about 1.5 years to get back up to PNLS level.
Okay. Is that your alliance now? Was that your alliance previously?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Blimey. So, okay. So yours is literally, I've just said about that a minute ago. So do you want to sort of like, or if you don't mind, sort of mention, if you could, why it was the decision, what took you to the sort of like, I'm going to stop for a period, and then what brought you back?
I got sick of the game, and I guess kind of as a redhead, I have a temper. And honestly, I just got really pissed off, and I had kind of been slowing down my plan, and I don't even remember what it was. It was just kind of, it was the thing to do. I decided I wasn't going to play anymore, and I made up my mind, and I scrapped everything.
Wow. Yeah,
I scrapped everything in my base that I could scrap, and I scrapped all my fleets. And I was gone for about 6 or 7 months. And I had some pretty steady hounding from a few friends in the game.
As ever, yeah.
And yeah, Pando and PNLS, he that little angel devil on my shoulder. And I just kind of broke down and went back.
Excellent. So he ground you down eventually and got you back in the game.
Yes, he did. He's been my buddy for a long time.
And yeah, I think it was Robin was saying last week about, or maybe it was just in our own chat, that half the people stay in this game, it's not actually because of the game, it's because of the friendships they've made, and they get coerced back into this crazy game that we call BP.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because that's probably the only reason I still play.
It's weird.
There are a lot in the feeling the same way.
There are, but I think there's a lot of players that are actually coming back to the game. And I think they're coming back for that reason. And if you come back to the game after a long absence and you have friends that play hard and keep up, and they help you along, prepping for you or whatever to get you back where you need to be, it's doable. I mean, I don't spend a lot of money, I'm lucky if I spend $50 a month on this game. You just got to make it work.
Yeah. So did you actually stop it in 2016?
Yes, I believe so.
Wow, you're lucky in some respects. You didn't suffer
No.
2017.
Maybe I've been back almost 2 years.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sort of mentioned before. I stopped myself for 9 months, for other reasons, and it was hard to come back. It was really, really hard, and I almost didn't sort of stuff. I'm glad I did because I've come back in a different way. But what sort of so you had to come back from scratch, literally, and start again?
Yes, I had I think 3 Super FFs, and I had a Corvette.
Blimey.
And that was it.
That's some journey.
Yeah, it was a frustrating one. That was, I'm not going to lie and say that there weren't tears involved, because there were. I think that first raid that I was back for, I had actually built a V2 because that was the best hull when I left the game. I had just finished sculling my full fleet of V2s. And I built a V2, and it was the raid where you're using the Apollos.
Yeah.
And I ground away sea targets in that raid with that one V2 for I don't even know how long, for days.
An old
before Pando.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before Pando was like, "What are you doing?"
Prep for me.
I just dropped comms and I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be a beggar, and I'm just going to do it. And that's kind of
knuckle down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what happened.
So 1.5 years. Okay. So zoom forward 1.5 years. How have you found the tail end of 2017?
It's been all right. I had some issues with the sub raid, I guess, there towards the beginning, because I had missed a couple of the raids for the charged armors.
Oof, yeah, painful.
So, yeah. So, it just kind of happened that was the way it went. I was in the hospital. So, I've been going back and getting them. So now I actually have 4 Skyfires that actually have charged armors on them.
Right.
But, those raids kind of sucked without them.
Yeah, hard work, yeah. And you're stuck down in that C class, which is...
Yep.
So you're that classic sort of 110 level player then, that's basically, as we hear them all the time, I may be a level 110, but I'm actually a 52 in some times,
I don't think so anymore. I would have said that probably a year ago. I would have definitely said it. Whenever I was, like at level 95, I think I had 4 turrets in my base. And I was getting my ally points on level 50 bases with 1 V2.
And
they would message me.
I can imagine.
And be like, you bully, what a bitch. It just didn't matter. I'd hear all this stuff, and I'm like, well, come hit me back. Why don't you send, a fleet of FFs or something? I mean, I literally have 5 turrets in my base, and I have 1 ship to hit with, But
wow.
Yeah, that was not fun at all. I was kind of, just a beggar at that point.
I'm not sure if I'm impressed or I think you're mental.
Probably both.
I can't make my mind up. Oh wow, I'm stunned. I mean, you are, and great for your alliance as well. I mean, yes, yeah, he has harassed you to death, but ultimately, you've got to have had real good encouragement and some support from the alliance, because that's not something you could do totally on your own without that sort of like people on your shoulder going, "Come on, go with your sort of stuff."
No, and PNLS has a really great recruit alliance, and I was convinced to tag up with them whenever I had my base, so that no one would hit me or whatever. And I tend to go back and forth between PNLS and that recruit alliance, because there's a lot of people in that group that are building back up. They've been away from the game, that kind of thing. And I feel very comfortable there. And I feel like I can actually contribute there, if that makes sense.
Does totally. No, so you have the knowledge. There's no doubt about that. Just don't have the toolbox. You didn't have the toolbox. That's the thing.
Yeah.
God, what a frustration. You must have been cussing at some stages, going, "I know what I want to do. I just don't have the kit to do it."
Oh, I cuss like a sailor. I'm trying really hard not to here, but the ones that have heard me on group chat, they know that.
Wow. Flipping heck. Well done is all I can say. I'm absolutely, I am bowled over. I'm stunned. That's brilliant. It's I mean, there are more people coming back to the game. I've had some people come back to my alliance and have started playing again, that sort of stuff. So it's I'm just hoping that this plan for 2018. I don't know. What's your opinion then? Do you see any positives in it, or have you got lots of like, well, I don't know.
I hate to see the heavy armor. I think that's going to frustrate a lot of people. And I'm the type that whenever I get overwhelmed in the game and feel like I'm lagging or that I'm a weak link, then I go back to NTSH while I build up. And, I do my work there as far as helping people that are coming back and encouraging them. And it kind of tends to encourage me too. But I hate the fact that the heavy armors, I think they're going to be too much. I really do. And we definitely need turrets.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of at a loss right now, actually. I'm putting an adder turret in, I think. I was looking at the new hull that's coming out. And the explosive resistance and stuff, deflection, and I know that you can't rely on your epics, and
well, not now. No, since they took away all our specials to go with them and that sort of stuff. So, wow, yeah. Well, I don't know. Take that now. Go on.
Can I ask you a quick question there?
Yeah, go on, buddy. Okay, please do.
What was it? Just your friend that brought you back, or did Kick send you little emails? Please come back. Was there is like further people got an email from Kick saying, you're a valued customer. Please come back to the games type thing.
Oh, I think we've lost our sound.
I think we might have.
You guys see what happens when I ask questions?
It's all gone quiet, yeah.
I killed it. Your show.
The drop bears have come in and taken away the sound.
Okay, all right, we've lost it there. It's great anyway to see and actually literally talk to somebody who's come back in the game. That's great news. Listen, we're going to wrap there for this show. Okay, we will do an after sort of like after show sort of session continuation. If you want to join in, or if anybody wants to leave, then feel free. But I'll put it up in the chat. Thanks all for coming in. It's been really good. I've enjoyed this evening. Probably rabbited on too much. I know Ren doesn't like it when I talk, but that was just habit. I'm forward on my part because I was trying to play the game and so on, keep it going. So anyway, thanks all. Let's see what happens with this FM update next week. I'm interested to see where the armor is going to come in. I'm interested to see the true stats because obviously everything's subject to change as ever. Let's see what they deliver. We're all a little bit nervous with the numbers. Maybe something is coming out as well at the same time. Maybe there is a turret or a turret special that's going to help do a bit of balance. I don't know. If they are in tier 4 or tier 5 and they aren't too big, I would watch the big alliances and go and see some fun because I think the medal table is going to go crazy next week. I think it's going to be topsy-turvy. But I know one thing, there'll be people spending money, which is what kicks I want. Dinos, you're back? Your mic working again? Not sure. No, it doesn't seem to be. Nope. Anyway, right. Okay. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks for those guys in chat and for the mods that are in there as well. It's been a good show. Gone on a bit longer than normal, and we'll speak to you hopefully on Tuesday, if not Wednesday, for the live show. You take care.
Good night.
See you later.
Good night and good luck.